Hey guys, this is Leo with dualsim.us, and in this video I want to do my full and somewhat emotional review of this BLU STUDIO 6 LTE. So this is a 6-inch device, as the name says, and it's a dual SIM phone that works in US and is capable of doing an LTE speed. But the thing about the LTE, it only works on T-Mobile, it will not work on AT&T. The reason for that is something to do with the modem in this phone. So if you have AT&T, you will only get 3G plus speed. So that's 42 megabits per second maximum that you can get on AT&T. All right, so the phone itself, I'm talking about the hardware. It has a really nice screen. I really like it. Not only it's huge, and you know, after using this phone, it's really hard to go back to my LG G3, which is 5.5 inch. The G3 just feels small after this phone. So, as I said, not only it's very big and nice screen, you can watch and read on it. It's just great. It also has great viewing angles, which are not that important because most people hold their phone straight toward their face, toward their eyes. But it is very bright screen, and brightness of the screen is really important for me because I think it affects your sight. And if you keep it on dark, or if the screen itself is dark, it will hurt your eyes, and over time it will, you know, do some damage. So the brighter the screen, I think the better is the phone. That's my personal opinion. Like I said, it's somewhat emotional, but I love this phone for its screen size and brightness. Now the screen is 1080p, so it's full HD screen, which is nice. There is not much pixelation, although I don't much care for resolution unless it's like 800 by 480. So like even 720p would be nice for me, but 1080p is great. On the other hand, this phone being so big, it's really practically impossible to use it with one hand. So if you want to type something, you can't even reach, like if you hold it like this, you can't reach the opposite edge of the phone with your thumb. So if you want to type something on a keyboard, you really have to hold it with two hands, which is, you know, somewhat impractical often because using a phone with one hand is really convenient, and you can do something else with the other hand at the same time. So thickness of the phone, I find it rather good. It's not super slim, it's like 8-9 millimeters. With the case, it's about 1 centimeter or 10 millimeters thick, but overall I don't complain about the thickness of the phone. And I don't find it too big for my pocket. I guess I just don't want it to stick out too much, but you know, it's pretty flat. Okay, moving on. As I said, this is a dual SIM phone, and right now I actually have only one SIM on it, but when I tested it, the call quality and the reception on both SIM 1 and SIM 2 was rather exceptional compared to other dual SIM phones that I've used before. You can see there's a T-Mobile SIM card in slot 1, and the second SIM is right now not there. So, as I did in my unboxing video, as I told you, this phone only supports 32 gigabyte SD card. You cannot put a 64 on it. If you manage to root the phone, you can put 64, maybe even 128, but currently there is no root for this device, and there is no custom ROMs. And this device comes with Android 4.4.2 out of the box, and knowing BLU, I think you will be stuck with that version of Android for a long time, if it ever gets updated at all. Okay, so I want to do a speed test and GPS reception test. I've already done it in a separate video, but since we're doing a full review, let's do that. Now, when I used this phone for the last couple of weeks, and I've used it extensively, I used it as my primary phone. I found the internet speed being really great, although I think here is not the best spot for speed testing. We're actually right next to a reservoir, and I think when there is a big lake, it kind of reduces the internet speed, the wireless speeds. So as you can see, we have currently 5 bars of 4G LTE, and we're on T-Mobile. We're in Brookline, Mass. So let's do a speed test. Alright, so right now we're getting 27, 28 megabits per second down. I've tested this phone and got speeds about 60, 70 megs down in spots where there is good reception and good speeds available. So although this has full 5 bars, I think there's something with this location that you don't get full LTE speed, but it is capable of getting high internet speeds. So it's just this location. Okay, so move on. We can see the speed is pretty good. Let's do a GPS test. So I've just rebooted the phone, and as you can see, only the speed test app is running. So it's gonna be a fresh start for the maps. Let's see how fast it finds our location. Okay, so let me focus on this place. So we are right now in Cleveland Circle, right next to a reservoir, as I said, and our location is pretty accurate to where we are. Okay, so I like the GPS on it. It's pretty fast, pretty responsive. I haven't had an issue finding myself even when I drive and I need to get directions somewhere. It's pretty instant. I haven't had a problem. Okay, so as I said, GPS is good. The internet speed is pretty great on it. So some people have asked about Bluetooth on this phone, if it can connect to a car audio. So we're in this 2014 Mitsubishi, and it has a Bluetooth radio. So let me turn it on, and I will enable the Bluetooth on the phone. And actually, while we're doing this, I'll also show you that this phone is very capable of streaming videos and all that good stuff. So let me find a good video. So okay, let's do this McDonald's commercial. Let's make sure the quality is 71. And now you can see the surround sound. This is the car audio. This is not the phone.
It all starts with 100% pure beef.
Alright, as you can see, it connected to the car instantly. Didn't take long. And the sound works pretty great. So you can connect this phone to your car. I've connected to a Sphero, the little ball robot, and it worked pretty nicely. I haven't had problems with that. Okay, so next thing, and something I had my beef with, is the camera. So this phone has a somewhat stock camera from stock Android, and you know, the camera quality is great, but the software is pretty poor. I really don't like the software on this phone, the camera software. You can see I'm doing a digital zoom to that building that is really, really far away from us. It's like, you know, 100 feet minimum. I can do a zoom on my on the camera I'm recording with. So you can see there, and let's do the zoom with this phone. So obviously there's no optical zoom on this phone, but let's try to do a digital zoom and see what we can get. Now I'm not holding it very steady, but you know, it's not bad. And pictures I have taken and videos I have taken, they came out pretty good. I really like them, but the software itself is pretty glitchy. When you record something, like you press a button and you have to wait a few seconds, and also the settings on it, like to even turn off the flash or turn it on, you have to do, like, go somewhere here, and there's this panels, you have to click back. I'm not even sure where the flash setting is, maybe right here. Yeah, basically it's a very complicated and buggy camera app. So what I did, I've actually installed a Camera FX app, the one I purchased. So this one costs $3 on Google Play. And once again, you see it's much more responsive, and also you can easily set flash settings and so on. So let's turn that off. As I was saying, you can do a lot more things with an app that you can download from Play Store. But the stock camera app is pretty poorly designed, and the controls on it are pretty poor. So if you plan to use this phone for taking a lot of pictures, I recommend you get another camera app. So I like the Camera FX. You may have your own preferences. Now, when I just started using this phone, it actually was using a Launcher 3 or something like that, and the phone was pretty glitchy. Like, you do something and the phone just chokes, and you just keep waiting. You know, it wasn't pretty, and it was pretty annoying for me. So you can even see here, like, this notification thing. It's when I slide it down, it kind of jerks a little bit. So I've installed Apex Launcher, and the phone became a lot more responsive and a lot much better to use. You can actually customize it a lot more than the stock launcher. So out of the box, you will need to do some modifications to the phone if you want it to work the way you want it. So next thing I want to talk about is settings. So what I did for myself, I've installed these notification toggles so I can quickly turn on my Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, flashlight, GPS, and Wi-Fi hotspot. But out of the box, it's not there. You have to install a separate app for that, and that's pretty inconvenient. And what you have here is this standard Android 4.4 notification and quick settings menu, basically, which you cannot customize. Like, you cannot add or remove items from it, and you cannot change the way they behave. So if I want to turn on Wi-Fi, it's a little counterintuitive. I click on it and it goes to Wi-Fi settings, which I would expect it to actually turn the Wi-Fi on. So to do it, you have to long press it, and then it turns on. Kind of annoying. So that's why you will want to install additional notification toggles if you are into that. You have this power bar, basically, settings, but again, you cannot customize it. So I just put it here for quick access to GPS, to Bluetooth, so I can show you. Alright, so camera we've talked about. Performance wise, so this has a Snapdragon 400 CPU, and it's rather low powered, but for everything this phone does, it's actually pretty good. I don't find it underpowered. Now, I don't play games on this phone, so I am indifferent to 3G performance. But if you're into that stuff, let me really quickly show you Antutu benchmark on it. So I've already done the test, and you can see it scored 19,000 something. But if we go into rankings and look at it, this phone is at the bottom of the chart. It's slower than some phones that are like couple of years old now. So it's not the speediest phone, but you know, it only costs $260 on Amazon, and it's a dual SIM LTE phone with 6-inch and actually a decent camera. So, you know, you can't expect a Galaxy Note for that, not Galaxy Note 4 for the price of this phone. So overall, like I said, I like this phone. It will be hard for me to go back to let me just hide this. It will be hard for me to go back to my LG G3. I might actually get a phone like this for myself, but this phone goes to my dad, and right now I'm just reviewing it. But I'll give it to my dad because he likes the big screen. He actually does a lot of reading on the phone, and he'll really enjoy it. Now back to usability. So you have the power button on the right edge, as well as the volume rocker, and this is rather inconvenient because since it's a big phone, you have to kind of reposition it. If you're holding it and you need to shut the screen off, you have to reposition the phone to reach that button. It's not positioned well, and it would be really nice to have a knock-on, knock-off function like the G3 has. Maybe I just got spoiled because on G3 it's really convenient to just press the home button on the back, but this phone doesn't have it. Okay, one more thing. This phone came with a case, and it's really nice of BLU to include the case with the phone. But what I found is that this power button, when I had to actually modify the case, because before there is a little, on the original condition of the case, there is this little bump right here. I'm not sure you can see it well, but I had to trim it with my razor blade, because what would happen is it was really easy to press the power button, and it would just, you know, get stuck in there and shut off, the phone restarted. And it was really annoying in the beginning because it would restart several times a day by itself, and I'm like, what the hell is going on with it? I thought it was a phone issue, but it turns out it's actually a case. So if you buy this phone and you find out and you see that it's restarting a lot on you, and you're using this case, it's probably the power button bump out in the case that presses the power button and restarts the phone. Alright, so the last two things I want to talk about are tethering and the battery life on this phone. So first, tethering. If you're on an unlimited plan like me and you need to tether your device, usually T-Mobile has a built-in tethering software that kind of limits how much data you can use, and typically it's up to 5 gigabytes that they allow you to tether. But this phone has stock Android on it, and therefore there is no proprietary T-Mobile software on it. Basically, if you turn on tethering, T-Mobile doesn't know that you tether. They think it's just your regular web traffic. So you can use as much as you need or want. And if you have unlimited data plan, you can use unlimited amount of tethering. Like I'll show you, I've used like 30 gigs of data, just in the, you can see here, right there, like almost 30 gigs, 24 gigs on tethering alone. And you know, there's no messages from T-Mobile saying, hey dude, you're abusing our network, so we're gonna shut you down. They don't even know I'm tethering the phone. Alright. So yeah, you don't have to buy any third-party software like I did for my LG G3 just so I could use unlimited tethering. This just is built into the phone and you're good to go. And last thing I want to tell you is the battery life on the phone. So often many of you you guys suffer with poor battery life, but I'll tell you, I don't suffer. And if you want to be jealous, but this phone basically lasts me a day and a half easy. This has a 32 milliamp hour battery, but because it uses a low power CPU and the screen is only full HD compared to like 2K screen on my LG G3, so the battery usage is not that huge. And I don't know what else is in it. There's no bloatware from T-Mobile and other garbage, So basically it's only stock apps and whatever I have installed on it. Now I use full brightness on my screen all the time, as I told you in the beginning. I also sync everything that I need to sync, like my Gmail and Facebook and all that good stuff. I don't turn anything off. I just, you know, use the phone as much as I need, and the battery on this phone just lasts me a day, maybe a day and a half easy. I've never actually, in 2 weeks that I've used it extensively, I never had issues with the battery being discharged, and like I look for a plug just to put it somewhere so I can continue using the phone. Even now you can see it has like maybe 40% battery still on it, and I've been using this phone all day. I just, you know, check stuff online all the time, and like just the screen is constantly on. I do something on the phone all the time, and I just love how the battery works on this phone. Okay, so to wrap this up, just I'll walk through pros and cons of this phone real quick. So once again, beautiful, bright, amazing screen. I really love it, and I think that for a budget phone, BLU did an exceptional job installing the screen on this phone. I believe it's IPS display, but it's super bright. It's actually brighter than LG G3s, which is, you know, like one phone costs $260 and another one is $600 phone. So the resolution, I am absolutely fine with 1080p. Some of you may want 2K. I really don't see a point in 2K phone. I have perfect vision 2020, maybe even better, and I never noticed any pixelation, you know, even if this was a 720p. But 1080 is great. Alright, size, like I said, screen size is excellent to watch stuff, to consume content, read, check email, but handling this phone with one hand is difficult, to say the least. Now, if you're Shaq or like that giant Korean MMA fighter, you might be able to reach with your thumb on the opposite side of the opposite edge of the phone, but my hands are pretty small, and most people's hands, you know, they're medium to small size, so basically you can't use it with one hand. Camera is pretty good on it, but you do need a third-party camera app to take advantage of this 13 megapixel shooter on the back, because the stock software is just horrible by my standards. Battery life is great. I haven't tested front camera, although it's 5 megapixels. I don't really know. Actually, let me do it. So this is me. I don't know how well you can see it. So it's not that great of a quality, you know, it's standard 5 megapixel shooter, but it comes out pretty grainy. Okay, so that's on the camera side. Again, battery life is exceptional on it. What I also like is that BLU included a screen protector with this phone. It's already installed, so you don't even have to bother with it, and you're not gonna damage your screen. I'm not sure what glass is used here, if it's Gorilla Glass or some, you know, no-name glass. And they also included a case, because it's a new phone. You can't really find any accessories for it, so it's nice that they included a case and a screen protector. I really like it. Alright, so $260, free shipping on Amazon. I think it's an exceptional phone. LTE speeds are great when you have reception. Too bad it doesn't work, the LTE doesn't work on AT&T network, but if you're on T-Mobile like I am, this is a great phone. Alright, so this was Leo with DualSim.us. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to our channel. We are producing great videos all the time, and share it with your friends, and I'll see you in the next one.